hello there, and thank you so much for joining us today on Transforming Families. I hope you are doing well and that you and your family are keeping it strong. Every day we're here, it means that it is yet another opportunity for our families to be transformed and for us to be educated, encouraged, and informed. My name is Faith Kaulu, and I hope you'll keep it to the end of this program because today we are going to have a very inspirational show. And with me is Monica Njeri, who is a cancer survivor, and she's here to share her journey and her story with us. And I think Monica, allow me to say thank you so much for being here, for being willing, to come and share your journey and story with us, and for being strong. Karibu sana.
Asante sana
To the program.
Thank you for having me here. I'm grateful.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm very good. I thank God for His mercies and His grace has been sufficient. He has been my stronghold. I have dwelt in Him, and Him dwelling in me. It has been a nice journey.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I want us to go straight to your story. A lot of people, when they hear about cancer, they think it's definitely a death sentence.
True.
But today you're here as a testimony.
Yes, I am.
Take us back to the beginning, actually, where before you were told you have cancer. How was your life like? How was your day to day?
Okay, thank you very much, and I'm honored to be here. My journey started as I grew up. I was a healthy child. I remember telling my husband after giving birth that I think the last time I was admitted to hospital when I gave birth, when I was being brought to this world, the maternity. My mother, that is when I was, my mother, that is when I was admitted in hospital. So throughout my life, I've been healthy, apart from the small sicknesses to homa, malaria, such. You go to the hospital, you're back. Then I was like, the last time I was admitted, that is when I grew up, now when I got married, my babies, that is when I was then first admitted, knowing that, but no, it's not a sickness. It's just a normal procedure. Yes. So now my journey started. Now my back pains, it started a very interesting sickness. In September 2019, I started feeling some back pains. So when, like women, we are told that we work so hard, we are not supposed to strain. So I went to hospital. After now, it prolonged. I thought I'd take some painkillers, it would go away. The normal way we treat ourselves. So I went to hospital the first time. I was treated, I was given some painkillers, then I went back home. So I took, for 2 weeks, I took the painkillers. The pain went away. Now, after maybe 3 days, my stomach started aching. So I went to hospital. So I told the doctors my stomach is paining, so I was given some medications. So I went home. So I took the medication. The stomach healed. Now it started alternating. The back, the stomach. After the back pains, I'm given more stronger painkillers. Then I go back to the hospital because of the stomach. So now it alternated. I was even tested for H. pylori. I was given the kit. I took the kit. I went to another doctor, kit. It was not complete, so I was given another one. So now, the pain was too much. I remember the back pain made me not even to sleep. I used to call my firstborn, she's 9 years old. I would call them to come and massage my back so that I can be relieved, so I can get some sleep. And every time they knew I was sleeping, even my house help, my house manager, knew every time I'm sleeping, nobody would disturb me because she knew that is the only time I get to sleep. So I went to hospital again. Then I was told to go for an X-ray for my back pains. So when the results came out, I went to the doctor. The first doctor told me, no, you're straining too much. And how many babies do you have? I told him I have 3. How did you get them? Through CS. Now, maybe now that is a side effect after some time. I'm like, okay, women, we are told so many things. So I said, no, it's okay. I was given more medication. So after some time, the pain didn't go away again. So I went to another doctor. Now the doctor told me some small bones are growing on my spinal cord. So I have to go for therapy, zichomwe, something. So I had to go back. I went for 12 sessions, and every time after the sessions at night, it was so painful. So I told the guy who was taking care of me, the pain every time after session, it's painful. She was like, no, it is kawaida. So you have, after some time it will, you shall. So I'm like, okay. So it went on like that. Now it reached a point, I was not even able to eat because of inflammation of the medication. So my hubby told me now, because now at that time I was in Nyeri, we have to come back, you have to come to Nairobi, we look for another alternative so that we know where the problem is, because every time back, stomach, it's not healing. So we went to a certain doctor in Thika. So we did some tests. He told me the stomach, he found some cysts. So I was treated for cysts. But now the back pain was not ending. He gave me some more stronger painkillers. So when we went back, now he said, no, we have to do an MRI. We know what is going on your back.
Yeah.
So that is when I went for an MRI. So after that, the first time when the results came, they just told us it's a mass. And it's between the stomach and the back. So they don't know where exactly it is. So they recommended I do a pelvic MRI. But now when we told the doctor told us, no, because now me, I'm not a surgeon, I'll give you a doctor's number who is a surgeon. Now he'll take you through the process. So then we were given the number of that doctor. So we went for a consultation. So he told us, now we have to insert a camera. We see where the mass is, whether it is leaning on vital organs, so that during the operation we know where to operate. So after that, when they went for an insertion, they checked. Then after that, the doctor told me, no, that is a gynecologist issue. So I was referred to another gyna. So he took us through. Now this is when things were now becoming like, this is serious. Because now I thought they give me medication, then I'm off. I go home, take the medication, I'm healed. So after the gynecologist checked the results, he was not like, they come for like counseling time before they do the operations and whatever. So now they were like, hi, what is your name? Are you married? Yes. How many babies do you have? I told him I have 3. Are you planning to have more? And I'm like, no. But now in my mind, why is he asking about babies?
Yeah.
So then he told me, now what we'll do, we go remove the mass. We know what kind of a mass it is. So I was told, now we go for theater. Now, during that time, my husband had just gotten a new job, after the COVID hit. So we don't have money because I was working, I'm a businesswoman. So for those 3 months, about 3-4 months, I was not doing business, so I didn't have cash. So we were relying on my husband for support. So now we are told you have to go for an operation. In the hospital, they are recommending, it's not these small hospitals, they work with big hospitals.
Yeah.
So now we are like, now we went home, we sat with my husband. I was like, now what next? We don't have the money for the operation. My husband told me, no, we wait on God. He has provided for us, he'll make a way for us. So we wait. So we took like a week. Then during that period, there was an insurance company that came to their company. So they were requesting people to join, they be given medical cover. Then he talked to him. I was like, no, me, I have an issue. My wife, we are told she has to undergo an operation. Now, how do we classify that? And how will we get help? how quickly are we going to get help? So he was like, you just fill the forms, say it's a pre-existing condition, then we'll know from there. God's in his own way, a miraculous way. A day before I was admitted, they approved, and it took like a few days, so it was approved. So I went to hospital. The surgery was done. They removed the mass. Now, after that, they told us they'll take it to the laboratory for testing to see what kind of a mass it is. So we waited for 2 weeks. Now after 2 weeks, then the results were out. We came with them. So we went back to the doctor. Now the doctor told us, no, it was found to be cancerous. And now I'm not in a position now to treat that. So I'll give you to another specialist who is above me. So we were given another doctor's contact, so we went to him. So he told us, he was briefed about us by the previous doctor.
Yeah.
So now we'll start from there. Now he told us, now this is very serious. Now we have to remove, because it was cancerous on the fallopian tube on the right side, an ovarian cancer, that is what they call it. So he told us, no, this is what will happen. Because now we have to make sure it will not spread, and it does not spread. We'll have to remove every organ that is surrounding that area. So I was like, okay, now what do you mean? So they told us, now you have to remove your reproductive system. So the uterus, the fallopian tubes, the appendix, so that you can be safe. Then we start chemotherapy. And then we were like, God, now this is real. Now it is cancer. So we were like, okay. It was tough because now we checked on the background, our history. Nobody had cancer. So I was the first person. So I talked to my brother, my big brother, that is who we talk to most of the time. So I told him, now I'm told I have cancer. Now we have to start treatment, and they have to remove my reproductive system, and I'm scared. So he just told me, we'll just pray to God, he'll make a way. So now the hard thing was to tell my parents. Now you can't tell my mom directly that. So you have to go through somebody to give my mom information. So I talked to my dad. So at some point he talked to my mom. So that is how it started. Now I had to go for another surgery to be removed now, the reproductive system. So in a span of 2 months, I had gone to the theater 3 times. Remove this, check this, they had to take precautions. So now we had to start treatment, now the chemotherapy. Now we were like, now we don't have finances. So the maximum we were given for insurance, it's almost done. And you have now to start chemotherapy, and it's not easy. So we turned to our friends and our relatives. So I have a brother in America. So he said, no, let's call people to come together as a family, we support. So that is what we did. And I'm grateful to God because people gave. They gave to their ability. Even people I never thought that they can give. High school the people who were with high school, the colleagues, his company, my parents, relatives, friends, people we even had contact so many years back. We have never, we cut communication. So they came in, they chipped in. So then, before we went for chemotherapy, the doctor had prepared us. It will not be easy. You are going for 6 sessions. And now, here are the side effects. vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, loss of hair, you know, darkening of the hands and the feet. And there were so many. It was a very big list. So I was like, so he told us, we tell people, the patients, they can, it's not a must to get.
Yeah.
So you can either get or not. So but we like preparing our patients so that when they get, they know it's a side effect. It will go. So I thank God. We started praying. I remember now for the sessions, when they started, because we were living in Nyeri, I had to come for the sessions in Nairobi. So we looked for options. Where can I stay? So we talked to my brother, my big brother. So he was like, now you can come. No, let me talk to my wife. We see how we can help. So after some time, he called. He said, the wife said, it's okay. I'm so grateful to that woman. She's an amazing, and Steve, it's an amazing girl. I can say that because she took care of me after every session. It was not easy because after every session, today I'll feel numb. I'd feel like I don't feel like walking. She'll bring food to my room. I would say, I want to eat this. When it's prepared, I don't want to eat it. So I'm like, siski kukula. So she asked me, what else can you take? So, you know, she took great care of me. I'm so grateful. I thank God for her. You know, even if were it not for her, I would not have stayed in their home. So now the session started. So I would come like a week, stay with her. With them, then I go back to Nyeri for 2 weeks because it was after every 3 weeks. Now it reached a point, the doctor said, you have to stay in one place. Because now there is COVID, we don't want to treat any other illness.
Yeah.
So we have to stick in one place until we finish the sessions. So I stayed with my brother and my sister-in-law for like 2 months. They took care of me. Now this was very hard on me and the family, because now the kids are in school, 2 of them, but I have 3, 9, 5, and 2.5. So the first 2 are going to school. So what happened? I have an amazing house help. I can say that, a house manager. And this, I can tell people, when you praying, don't think God will not answer your prayers. Because I remember before I got married, let me go back a bit. Before I got married and after I got married, I used to pray for everybody who would come in my house. Either a house help to help us with when the kids came. So I used to pray for them. So my husband was like, una jokes wakati mwingine unaombea housewife na bado hujapata mtoto. Nikamwambia, no, I have to prepare. You don't know what happens.
Yeah.
So I used to pray for them, and God answered my prayers. Because I remember she came like when my son was 3 years. He had not started school.
Your first
one?
one?
No, the second one. So I was like a week to give birth to my third born. So that is when she came. So we stayed with her. She's very, very helpful. I thank God. She's a Wangari. So I remember that time, now I was in Nairobi. She had to prepare 2 kids to go to school. And you know, they're not going to the same school. So she has to prepare the firstborn, take her to the bus station. The school van picks her. She comes back. She prepares the second-born, then takes him to school, then comes back, takes care of the small one. And you know, she has some chores to take care of at the house. Every day for like 2 months without complaining. Every time I call the kids, they are so happy. You know, they don't feel like, apart from missing me, they don't have other issues like complaining. No, we don't want her, we don't want. And she never told me, no, I want to go home. So she took care of them. Then another challenge was my husband, because every weekend he used to go home to check on us when I was there. Now he has 3 places to go. His house, come check me, and go check the kids. So it was like hectic during those 2 months. But I thank God we made it through. So after the chemo sessions, I thank God. My hands darkened and my feet. The other side effect I got was numbness and some fatigue, constipation, vomiting, no. But now, because of the medication I was given, the strong painkiller, I had an inflammation on my stomach, so I was not able to feed. So every time we went to the doctors, I told them, now my stomach, it's getting worse. So they told me, now you have to check what is wrong with your stomach, because we are giving you medications, it's not stopping. We are giving you the strongest, now it's not. Even the strongest now I was taking, it was not helping. So I was given now the strongest medications. So I was referred to another doctor. That is when she discovered I had an inflammation in my stomach. So the chemo started, and the inflammation, I was given medication to heal the inflammation. It was not easy because I was taking like inflammation medications and chemotherapy. Because after every session, I have to take medications for 2 weeks for chemo before I go back to the other session. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I think seeing you here seated, laughing and smiling and looking so beautiful.
Thank you.
One wouldn't imagine that you have gone through such a difficult journey. I think for me, I'd like to know, what was your feeling immediately when you received the news that the mass is cancerous? But I think we'll come back with that after the break. Let's take a very short break, and then we'll definitely come back to that. So dear viewer, do not move our muscle. Get in touch with us on our social media pages. Facebook and YouTube is CAC TV Kenya. Keep it right here.
Greetings! It is a pleasure to inform you that the Presbyterian Church of East Africa will be holding its first GAC of the 23rd General Assembly from 19th all through to the 22nd of this month. This year's GAC is organized and hosted by the Central Region at Milele Hotel, Nairobi. Commissioners from the 57 presbyteries of the church, as well as delegates from departments and institutions of the church, will be in attendance. The GAC will also receive guests drawn from other Christian churches locally and internationally. Inspiration and ministration will be offered by various choirs drawn from select sections of the church. The theme of the GAC remains to be the theme of the 23rd General Assembly, Give Careful Thought to Your Ways, drawn from Haggai 1:5 Part B. Be sure to catch these events, including the Region Night, live on CAC TV on Signet, as well as CAC TV Kenya on Facebook and YouTube. CAC TV wishing you happy and reflective Easter holidays.
So catch Fit to Live every Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Together, let's have fun, get fit, and stay healthy. My name is Aida Munzatsi. I'll be your host for this show. Remember, your health always matters.
All right, welcome back, and thank you so much for keeping it right here with me today. If you're just joining us, is Monica Njeri, who is sharing her story with us, a cancer victor. Yeah. Njeri, let me take you back to the first time you received the news that, you know, you have cancer. What was going through your mind? How were you feeling? You know, what were your emotions like? Tell us.
Okay, thank you very much, Faith. Now, when I heard it was cancer, the first thing, you know, so many things have been said about cancer. And one is people don't make it, you'll die. So now my mind was like, no, I'll die.
Yeah.
After some time, I'll die. Now, I started, you know, those songs that are sung in the barrios, especially the PCA, the Igoro.
Yeah.
I loved that song. So I used to play that song like continuous, because now I was thinking, now I'll die. Now, when I die, who will come to my burial? What will people say about me? Why did I die? And what about my kids? How will they cope without their mom? You know, those things. And I was like that week I was thinking of death. Every time death. Now I'm going to die. I'll not survive, because now I was not even now. I didn't have that courage to fight the cancer, because I'm like, why me, cancer? Our family, we don't have anybody who has gone through this cancer thing. We hear of now relatives, no friends, far people, you know, big people, they die of cancer now, and me, why now? So the first thing was like, no, I'll die one day, and it's very soon. But now, I thank God for my husband, because he told me, you know, so many people have survived. We'll walk through this journey together. God being our help, we'll make it.
Yeah.
You know, he has always said he'll be our healer. So we'll walk through this journey until we make it. So that is how the journey was. And I remember there's a time I was passing at our home. There's a place, before you get to the hospital, there's a place they sell coffin. So I was like, hey, okay, what will people choose for me? Will they choose this one or that one? No. It was tough, but I thank God. Now when I started telling people, my friends, now they told me, no, we'll talk to our God. He's a healer. So many people have made it through. You're still young, and you have to make it. You'll become a testimony, a living testimony, to tell people that God heals. And in my mind, I was like, okay, you know, some doubts you get as human beings. You get some doubts. Okay, God will heal. Okay, you have had people who prayed, they were not healed, they died.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, there are two ways God heals. Once He takes the pain, He heals you, or you die. He takes the pain completely. So I was like, okay, so that was how I felt. No, it was death. But after talking even with the doctor, he said, this is just, we'll just walk over. You go through the sessions, the medications, then you're good to go. I'm like, okay, that is the doctor, but I don't still trust, you know, the way you say, huyu daktari anataka tu kuchangamsha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, ya kuonyeshe. So now at that time the scriptures started running in my mind. That is when they became real to me. Do not be afraid. As Christians, sometimes we think that life will be smooth. But there is no point in the Bible. God said, your life will be smooth at a certain time. When you get to this age, when you get saved, your life will be smooth throughout. He told us you'll have challenges. But be glad I have overcome the world. So that is, now it started coming true to me. Now it was I was walking through the valley of shadow of death. God was with me. So people prayed for me, because if I say I prayed for myself, most of the time I'll lie. I was not able to. Because now I was like, if I start praying, I'll start complaining, asking God, why me? I'm so young. I have a young family, and I'm still at my late 30s. So why cancer? Why me? You know?
Yeah.
So people prayed for me very much. And I thank one lady called Karen Kiroha. She used to call me every time before I went to surgeon. She would pray for me. She would pray with me. She would go visit. She would get some few friends, go see my babies at home when I'm not around. They stay with them in the evening. They go back. So she told me, God will see you through this, and you would become a testimony, and a big testimony. God is preparing you for a ministry. I'm like, okay, no. I started taking it easy, and now the journey started becoming, I was now able to cope. Although it was still tough, I still managed because of other people's prayers.
Yeah.
And encouragement, and also calling me. And that is when it came to my mind. When one is going through tough times, when you just make a call, it makes a difference.
A big difference.
A very big difference, because you encourage that person. Maybe they are not in a position to take the Bible and read, listen to inspiring stories. But when you call, when you text, you give them hope. There's a hope tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. Your children, did they know what was going on? Or they just knew mom is unwell?
At first, they knew, but we didn't tell them it's cancer.
Okay.
Because when it started, like the back pains, I used to call them, especially the firstborn. If they had mom calling, she knew she's coming to massage mom because her back is paining. Because every time I had some back pains, I wanted somebody to just massage. So my husband is not around, so I cannot call the house help because she has other things she's taking care of. So I have to call the children to massage me, and they were doing it like it's fun. So they all come, the three of them, so the small one, and you know, my son was like, okay, mom, massage hapa. Then he goes. Now the firstborn, the girl, she used to massage me. I feel relaxed. I get some relief for some few minutes. I get some sleep, like for maybe an hour or 30 minutes. After that, no more sleeping. Throughout the night, I was like, "Hey, squeeze nimekuwa kama watchman because I'm not sleeping. I'm awake throughout. I cannot be able to take something and read because I will not concentrate. So I just have to stay in bed. It's a routine. You have to be in bed during the night. So because I cannot go to the sitting and sit there, so I have to be in the warm. So now, this is when it hit them. When now I had to come for treatment. I'll be away for like a week or two. So I'll go back, and mom, now they started praying, even praying for me. God heal mom, because her back pain, it's making her not to be with us. So now the last 2 months, when now I was told no going anywhere, even the teacher once called the house manager and asked her what is going on, because he's George. George is always staring at the wall. After some time, you know, he's a performer. But now, after some time, We have seen him, he stares at the wall. You ask him what is wrong, he's like, sijui kama mama atapona, kama mama amepona amerudi nyumbani, sijui atarudi siku gani. So now the teacher now was getting concerned what is happening.
Yeah.
Because we had not told many people, because you know when you're told something like that news, you don't know how to tell people. So my house help now told the teacher. The mother is not around. She's going for some medication, so she has not been around. So that is when now the teacher called me and told me, "Kwani Mama George, what is happening?" So I gave her my story. I'm going through this treatment. The doctor has told me not to go home. She told me now we'll see how we can help him, because now he's not concentrating anymore. And now my firstborn now, you know, we are not getting now the report from the teacher daily. But now after us, it affected also her, because now when they get home, my house help will ask her, what is wrong? She's just like, nafikiria tu juu ya mom. Nafikiria tu juu ya mom. The small one, I miss too mom, you know, those small things.
Yeah.
Now, after now, I went to school. That is when now from my big girl, Joy, that is when I discovered it also affected her, because her performance dropped, really dropped, and I was like, this hit them hard. But you know, they are not, like the firstborn is not a talker, so you cannot know what is going on her mind. But she talks to the dad a bit, but she'll not explain. But now my son was like, mimi na miss tu mama, mimi nafikiria mama atarudi. He will talk, he'll say what is on his mind. Nafikiria mama amepona ama hajapona, sijui, you know, tunataka arudi. Like a small one, nime miss tu mama, sijui atarudi lini. So that is how we were affected. Then now for my husband, now he has to be in work. Every session he would ask for permission, and I'm thankful to the company, they used to allow him. So we would stay with him in that room where I was taking the medications. So it was a long process from morning maybe to around 3, then take me home. Yeah.
Wow. Listening to your story, I can tell that there are a lot of people who came through for you, who supported you and who showed you love, from your brother, your relatives, your parents, and even friends, you know. And this is not something that is normal. We cannot say that that is normal, because as much as cancer is, people automatically think it's a death sentence. People also know the burden that it comes with, financial burden, emotional burden, and all that. But here you were, and people were there for you. Would you say that gave you hope, that gave you strength? Talk about that having people just being there and supporting you through your journey.
Wow, yeah, thank you. Yes, it was very encouraging, because after, now we formed a group. You are like, now, what will people say? Will they help? Will they, I'ma just ignore, I'ma just read? They come, they left. You know, the WhatsApp, left. So I so left. So you don't know, they'll join, then they left. So it was so encouraging, I thank God, because people gave. I remember even they were having something to buy lunch for me every Friday. You know, people, they are contributing, they're also giving for lunch. And every session, chemotherapy, it's very expensive, especially if you don't have like insurance. And also, you know, the government pays a certain amount, the NHIF. So the rest you have to chip in from your pocket. And you know, after every 3 weeks, I'm required about, it was coming 100 and something, 110, 120, depending on the medication I'm given. So after every 3 weeks, I have to get that money. And people give, and they gave me hope. And I told God, thank you, because you have provided finances. Because I know there are so many families, they are selling their things. Then at the end of the day, they lose the person. But God, you have given me favor. With even friends, people, I can't remember when we last talked, they gave, the church, you know, everybody gave. It gave me hope. And I was like, wow. I thank God He has provided. And when God tells us to trust in Him, He knows what He's saying. At times we get to a point where like, okay, God is telling me to wait on Him, to trust Him. But as human beings, we are not patient. We will start like, no, I'll go to so and so, I'll do this and get the money. But when people came through for me in the finances, I felt so loved. I felt so appreciated because, you think sometimes people are nifikiri, but when they give, they support, they pray, they encourage, then you see, okay, there are people out there, even if they don't talk to you often, but they don't show it, they care. When you have a problem, a challenge, they come through for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I want us to talk about your husband. I think a lot of people will be asking, where did you face when praying for this man? Because I've had a lot of stories where someone will be told they have cancer and their partner will flee because they don't want the burden that comes with it.
Yeah.
But here you are telling us that your husband was there for the sessions.
Yeah.
He took care of you. He came and saw you. He saw the kids. Even when you're away, he took care of things. I mean, tell us about that. How did that make you feel?
Well, no, sometimes, when we get married, we take the vows for better for us, for sickness, in good times and in health, some. So now this true true, the vows he kept in sickness and in health. Now here we have a challenge of sickness. Now he's the one encouraging me. Now I will get through this. Don't worry, God is with us. And it was so encouraging. I felt so loved. I felt so humbled because he made sure that everything I needed, if he was able to provide, he'd provide. If he's not able, he look for ways until he gets what we need. And he was so supportive. Every session, I remember, I can't even tell you how the registration was going, what was required or what. He took care of everything. He would take me to the hospital, tell me to just sit there, I'll take care of things. So he goes to the desk, he runs, he goes for the tests, he goes for everything. I'm like, wow, this is true love. It's so amazing. You know, having somebody to take care of me. And you have said, people, when they hear their partners, not only for husbands, even the wives.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say, sikuwa nimetarajia hii, so hata ajishughulikia ama there people will take care of them. So I'm so grateful. He took care every minute. Time he would come, we would pray together. If he is not able to come now to my brother's place, he'll call me and tell me, now, today I'll not make it because I have 1, 2, 3, and I would understand. Because now he has to take care of me, he has to take care of the kids, and he has to take care of his work. So I thank God he was able to cope in that situation. It was not easy. When he'd get home, sometimes I was like, you're fatigued, you just sit and sleep. I'm like, God, give him strength for another day because he needs it, and give him favor. You know, everywhere he goes, just give him favor. Give him strength to keep on fighting for us, because me being here, him being out, taking care of things, just give me more strength and more grace. Yeah.
I would like you to give him a message, speak to him and tell him something.
Okay.
Yeah.
David, I love you so much, and I'm grateful to God. He brought you in my life for a purpose. And thank you for loving me in every situation. Thank you for just coping with me in all the messes and all the ups and downs. And we are going far. It is just a journey we have started. Yeah.
Wow. A lot of families who have members, who are sick and unwell, not only cancer, but other illnesses as well, could feel the burden. And we acknowledge that it's not easy. you being there, you having, you know, experienced the love and the support and know what it does to the person who is unwell. Speak to these families. I think just give them a word of hope and encourage them that, you know, at the end of the day, it's worth it for this person. They feel it, they acknowledge it, no matter how you know they could be difficult, you know, like you mentioned, stubborn. You would ask for food and say no, I don't want it. You know, they still appreciate the love. Yeah,
true. Yeah, you know, that support, when you have somebody who cares, whether they are giving you something or they are not, but the fact they are there for you, it means a lot. It gives somebody hope that somebody loves me, even when I'm going through this disease or through this situation. At least somebody cares for me, even when I'm not able to take care of myself. Don't give up hope. Just continue helping and supporting that person, because you don't know what you're doing to them. By you being there, talking to them, giving them a verse, you encourage them. You're giving them hope that at the end of the day, there's still hope out there. It is not the end of the world. Yeah.
Wow.
And they'll make it.
Your journey with cancer, battling cancer, becoming victorious, what has it taught you and how has it shaped your life?
One, it has taught me that what we say about God and what we read about God and what other people have gone through. We read the Bible, God did something for somebody. Even to us, He's still the same God who performs miracles even today. So we should keep on trusting in Him. It doesn't matter how long it will take. Some people take years to get healed. Some people don't even get healed, they die after sometimes. But it has taught me to keep on holding to God. It doesn't matter what you're going through. What He says in His word, it is true. And He's perfect. Everything He takes through us, you know, He knows us. So we are His children. So every step of the way, we keep trusting God and He will make a way through for us. Another thing is that as long as you have people supporting you and praying for you, you get more strength to keep on fighting. And you know, it is not the end of the world. You know, sometimes God takes us for a break to now appreciate what we have. Like now, I used to wake up, go to work, come back. Now I'm not going to work. I'm in bed, waiting for somebody to take care of me, waiting for somebody to bring something for me. You know, those small things we take for granted, that is now I started having to appreciate them more. And like going to church, you cannot go to church. You have to stay home. Interacting with people, going to the shop to do, you know, the small things. Sometimes you're like, okay. Sometimes you ask God for miracles, like, I want a car, I want a big house, I want something like so and so. But we don't really appreciate the small things we get. Like, when I was in hospital, like, I remember those sessions, you'll hear people are in so much pain. Me, I'm not in so much pain. I'm able to cope, but other people are in so much pain. We are going through the same treatment. It is tough on others. Some, like for me, it was a bit easier. You know, some people you will find they are starting. Others are in the middle. Others are getting out. So even in life, we are in that situation. There is a time when storm comes. The big thing is, how will you be able to handle the storm? We should not look at other people are going through things.
Yeah.
It is. But they are not saying. But in every storm where you are, know that you're not the first person, you're not the middle person, you're not the last. People are still coming in, getting out victorious. Now it is for you to stay focused, and it will determine the end of that journey, how you have walked that journey. The results, we rely on how you handled yourself in that storm. Because now if I gave up hope, maybe today I'll be buried. Because if I said, sipigani tena, hata hiyo chemo istaki kupona. Those medications, I would take them. If I didn't want to get well, ningezichukua niende nisitupe kwa choo.
Yes.
So najua tu at the end of the day nitakufa, you know. But what steps we take when we in that storm, it determines the results of what we get at the end of the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah. And I like how you talk about God, even having gone through all that, because some people would ask, why me? I have served you faithfully. I have lived my life well. Then why, you know, they'll view it as a punishment. And I wouldn't want to end today's program without asking you, was there a point where your faith was shaken, where you felt like, God, you have not done me well, you know?
Yeah. Now, after we got the results, now after we were told I have cancer, I was like, now God, enyewe umeona to this time is the best I get cancer. Those many years since I was born, this is the time. Ama you could have just waited for me to get a bit older, the babies are big. When they are able to take care of themselves, so then you can bring now cancer that time, because there will be other people taking care of me. But now I'm taking care of the small ones. Yeah, it reached a point I was like, this is not fair. That is what, even when I was thinking about today, I was like, God, sasa, you know, hii maisha sasa, umeona iti nifike 30, 40, nikufe, you know. But now when people started talking to me, reading the Bible, now God is still there. Yeah. Now I'll walk through this. I'll walk with him. You know, he says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. So now this is the time for God to prove he never leave me nor forsake me. Yeah. So we walked through the journey with God, and I stopped complaining. That is when I said, hata kama sasa ni kuomba, if I feel I'll complain, I'll not pray. I just keep quiet. Let somebody else pray for me. I get well. Then at the end of the day, God will glorify himself through me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Your parting shot?
I would say God is there. He's the same God who was in the beginning, performed miracles for people who were there. He's still performing miracles, even to us this day. We should never lose hope. We should keep trusting in God. And everything that comes our way, just let God take care of everything. Yeah, and keep praying. He's a faithful God. He has.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a faithful God. What he has said, he'd keep it. Sisi ndio tunatokanga kwa God. Tunakuwa unfaithful. But he's still the same God. Still waiting for us to come back, tell him we are sorry, then we walk again with him. Never lose hope.
Wow.
God is still there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story with us very candidly. Thank you for reminding us as well that, you know, our faith and our belief in God should not be about what he has done in our lives or what we want him to do, but of who he is. He is God. Whether he meets our points of need at the time we want to or not, he still remains to be God. And that is very beautiful. Thank you so much for today. And to you, dear viewer, thank you as well for staying tuned. Share this video, you know, to as many people as possible, because indeed we know that we are living in very difficult and tough times where a lot of people are losing hope and losing faith as well in God. So when you come across it, share with a friend, a relative, a neighbor, and let's keep inspiring people. Let's keep transforming families. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Faith Kaulu. Till next time, goodbye.